I don't have electricity. Okay, let me try.
Sarah,
Okay, let me try for right. Sorry. Can I see that?
yeah, Sarah, we can see you.
What happened?
Mm.
Video. Yeah, this is okay. Video setting. See, because
No, we can see.
we don't have electricity here.
Okay. Sarah, did you set your Zoom video?
Zoom video.
Yeah.
Video setting.
Okay. Mm.
What is happening? One more time. Cannot. Okay,
Sarah,
so
Sarah, do you want to try to log in again?
okay.
Yeah, maybe try again, Sarah. Do some-
Can I see right? The same.
Yes, we. Sarah,
Okay,
your
so
laptop camera, did you turn off? Do you turn on?
what's on?
Laptop camera. Do you turn on the
Time
camera?
on, time on
It's on.
already. Sure, there's a light in. Sure.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. Very strange, Sarah.
Mm. Okay, I should try another way, right?
Yes. Handphone, Sarah. Are you using a laptop,
Phone.
handphone? Yeah,
Yeah. No, only using laptop.
laptop. Yes.
So okay, maybe maybe it will take longer time. Okay.
Yes, Sarah. Sarah, do
Okay.
you want us
Anyway,
to share the PowerPoint for you?
I can share PowerPoint. It's okay, no
You can
problem.
share. Okay.
That's okay, and the PowerPoint will be okay. Only
You
the
cannot see.
camera. I don't know what
Mm,
happened.
maybe need to ask Brother Duke.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay. Oh, one more. Also sorry. I have to choose English channel. Also sorry. English channel. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Now we can start, right?
Yes, Sarah. Yes. Okay. Wondermi Seattle and good evening, everyone. Good morning for everyone in the East Hemisphere. Welcome to the 7-day plus 14-day Samatha Vipassana meditation retreat conducted by Sarah U. Aganya and Sarah U. Kowida. Today, Sayadaw will continue with the Dhamma talk on Bhujanga Sutta part 16. May we now respectfully invite Sayadaw to start the Dhamma talk, and may we invite both interpreter Bande to start the translation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
We will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Today we have to continue talking about the enlightenment factor of tranquility. This one is also really very important for the practitioners. When we have tranquility, then we can feel peacefulness. Most of the people, when they meditate maybe 1 week or more than that, they can experience tranquility. We have two different types of tranquility. Tranquility of mental body and tranquility of consciousness. We can also say quietude or serenity. So we have different opinion about tranquility of body. Sometimes it also say the body become really very calm, very quiet. This is also called body tranquility. And tranquility of consciousness is easier because it comes from the mind. So we can understand tranquility of mind very easily. So this mental factor is the stability of the mind and opposite of restlessness. When we have very strong tranquility, we don't have restlessness, then we may have more focus and more concentration. When the mind becomes peaceful, the body becomes calm. When the mind is shaken by restlessness or any other defilements, the mind cannot be calm. So the main thing is when we have tranquility, we can also subside the defilements. That's why this enlightenment factor is also really very important to have. Then we also have to explain many other things. Whenever we talk about defilements, it will be very wide. So here, if we are worried about many things, we cannot tranquilize our mind and body. Sometimes, although our bodies are tired, we are still active because of tranquility of the mind. So that means sometimes we have to work very heavy job, but we have tranquility. Then, although our body become very tired, we still active. This kind of thing also can happen. When tranquility arises, the defilements are subsided. Mostly, defilements makes mind shaken and unstable. Whatever defilements, greed, hatred, delusions, pride, doubt, sloth and trouble, restlessness, any kind of defilements can make mind unstable. So now, when we have tranquility, we can subside all types of defilements. If we are not greedy, that means sometimes we expect too much, right? Then if we expect too much, then there's also greed. So many people, when they are meditating, they want to improve within a few minutes, within a few seconds. And they use too much mind power, too much mental energy, too much body energy. Finally, they become very exhausted. Also, more restlessness will come. Similarly, when we have a lot of worry, sorry, lamentation, grief, if we have many other defilements also, we're going to stabilize our mind. So when we have tranquility, the mind become very calm, very peaceful, and we can subside all types of defilements and easier to continue our meditation. 7 things lead to the arising of enlightenment factor or tranquility. So there are 7 things. Vanita Bhojana Sevana, the resulting to fine foods. That means suitable food, we can say. If we have suitable foods, we can improve. Udu Sukha Sevanada, resulting to comfortable weather, is also important. Then Idiapata Sukha Sevanada, resulting to comfortable postures, this is also important. Actually, these are only supporting cause. So for these three factors, there will be some exceptions. Individual has very strong bodily resistance. He can endure any food, weather, posture, and his mind can be calm and peaceful, and also quiet. Okay, here I should elaborate a little bit more. For example, Prida Bhojana. There are some people, they have very strong, their bodies are so strong, although they don't have enough foods and they can survive. They can continue their practice. Similar Utusuka Sevanada, comfortable weather. It depends on their body also. Okay, we have one event, and you may have known whenever Devadatta. And whenever Devadatta asks the Buddha to allow him to lay down the rules for the bhikkhus, then not to eat, right, the foods offered by donors in their house, just go for Bindabata. Then just lay down the rules for the bhikkhu to live only under a foot of a tree. Not to accept any religion of our devotees. Okay, if we summarize, there are 5 things Venerable Devadatta requested from the Buddha to lay down the rules. The main thing is Buddha also says, if those who wish to do, okay, let them do. Buddha didn't lay down any rules. When his requests were rejected by the Buddha, then we have 2 different types of people. We can say 4 different types of people also. The main thing is there are some people, their body and their minds are so strong. If their mind and body are strong enough, whether they are meditating in the forest or in the village or anywhere, that they can do. Now their mind is also strong. When their mind is so strong, although there's a noise or some disturbance, they can bear. They have very strong kanti. Then they can improve anywhere. So briefly, if our body and the mind is very strong, we can meditate anywhere and we can improve. So here in this case, we have these 3, right? Although we don't have these 3, it's possible. There are some people, their bodies are strong, but their mind is a little bit weak, a little bit sensitive. Sensitive means although very minor noise, they can get angry easily, that kind of things. So when they have this kind of things, then we cannot meditate in the village or somewhere around near the city or village because a lot of noise will disturb. He may get angry. He cannot improve. But their bodies are strong enough so they can live in the forest. Although they haven't lived alone, it's okay. Their bodies are strong. Their bodies are strong enough. They can endure any weather, foods, or anything. Any posture is okay. Then there are some meditators. Their mind is strong, but their bodies are weak. For them, they should live near the village because they need special support from devotees, but their bodies are weak. And then we can say they may need these 3 supporting. Resulting to fine foods, resulting to comfortable weather, resulting to comfortable postures. Then they may be able to meditate because their mind is so strong. Although when many noise come, they can endure, they have very strong kanti, then they can improve their meditation. Then we have the last type. Although they have good conditions, and their bodies are also not so strong, their minds are also not so strong. Although they have good conditions, they are not sure. They cannot attain anything. It's because their mind is also weak. Even very minor things, they can get angry. Then it can be very big distraction for them. Then their body is also very weak, a lot of sickness. Then for that kind of meditators, they cannot improve easily. Okay, the main thing is these three are our supporting causes. When we talk about suitable conditions, we can also find these three. Among the 7 suitable conditions, he just mentioned only 3 here. But later he will mention about the person, association. Okay, the main thing is these 3 are also important as supporting cause of meditation. Also, we can also tranquilize when we have these 3. Then again, 4. Machada Payogata, undertaking the middle way. Actually, sometimes when we talk about middle way, people can misunderstand it's Noble Eightfold Paths. Because this is also mentioned in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta as a middle way. Yeah, Machada Yoga. Yoga means practice. Machada means the middle. So here I list out 3 things. 1, regulation of karma ownership of oneself and other, not holding any wrong view, such as causeless of happiness and unhappiness, and rejecting the result of karma. So this kind of things is called rejecting karma ownership. So there are no cause of happiness or unhappiness. It arises naturally, automatically. When the time ripens, it will arise. Then we can say is no cause, no reason of happiness or unhappiness. Not only that, rejecting the result of karma. That means there's no result of good karma. There's no result of bad karma. Everything is arising just naturally. When we have this kind of belief, then this is also wrong way. We cannot tranquilize our mind. So if we can follow, that means if we don't have this kind of wrong view, this kind of idea, then it will be easier for us to tranquilize our mind. Sometimes what we believe is also affect our practice. So actually, when we talk about causeless, we can also say Ahetuka DT. There will be many other things. Here I just say very simple, right? Ahetuka means, for example, there's no causes of purifications or purity. So for example, now you are meditating to purify your mind. It's not the way. Although you meditate, you cannot purify your mind. No cause of purifications. So for example, when we talk about 4 noble truths, we have the noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, that means the cause of suffering. Mostly the Buddha encouraged his disciple to know or to realize the 4 noble truths. That means, for example, the noble truth of suffering, we must know it. But the origin of suffering, we must eradicate or we must abandon it. So if we can uproot the origin of suffering, then we can also uproot the suffering. Buddha just recommended his disciple to cut the roots, not the tree. So if we cut the tree, then there's still root in the soil, it can regrow. If we remove, including the roots, the tree cannot regrow anymore. Similarly, Buddha just recommended his disciple to uproot the origin of suffering. So if we say, if somebody say there's no cause of suffering, that means no origin of suffering also. If we reject the karma results, then this is also wrong view. That kind of wrong view will be very big obstacle for our practice. Not only that, we're gonna have tranquility, we're gonna feel peacefulness. So B, not accepting and relying on creator and so on. So sometimes we rely on other people, other living beings, seen or unseen beings. This is also a bad habit. I have met many people, some of the people, they believe that if the teacher can send them to Nirvana. This is a really, really, very, very strange. Even the Buddha cannot send anybody to Nibbana, right? But they believe that their teacher can send to Nibbana directly without practice. They also thought Nibbana is a special place, for example, right? So that means we don't rely on ourselves, we rely on other people, other creator or other mighty God or anybody. When we have this kind of belief, then we will not be very diligent because we will rely on other people. We cannot tranquilize our mind that much. Actually, tranquility comes from ourselves, our own practice. It will take time for every meditators to experience tranquility. Also, we also need our own efforts. So we must know that we cannot have everybody, right? We also have to understand this one. Sometimes we try to have everybody, but we have to encounter a lot of difficulty. Not all suffering people need our help. If they need and accept our help, we can do for them. If they do not need accept our help, we should feel free. Then our mind will be free from worry. Then we can also tranquilize our minds. So that means, although they are suffering, we can say karma ownership. This is their karma sometimes. Okay, the karma saka. Sometimes we can help them. They are ready to accept our help. That means sometimes we can advise them, they will follow. Sometimes, although we advise them, they will not follow. In this kind of case, we should say karma saka. Don't worry about many people, right? So sometimes we just worry about many people unnecessarily. Then if we have a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, then a lot of fear, we cannot tranquilize, and we cannot experience any peace of mind. So if we wish to be peaceful, we must have more karma saka, right? It will be easier. It doesn't mean we must neglect all the people, right? That means we must not hate anybody. Okay, one more thing. Sometimes when we say karma saka, people also misunderstand we hate somebody. No, it's free from love and hate. If we don't love, if we don't hate, we can say it will be karma saka. This is the middle way. Okay, now again, we have to go 5. Sarata kaya bukala parivachanata. The avoiding of people who have a physical bad action such as torturing and bringing weapons, stones or sticks or for fighting. This is called Sarata Bukala. We can also say they're like a cruel, unkind. Then here I mentioned not associating with people who does not have empathy, mercy, and kindness. So if we associate with that kind of people, our mind becomes very gross. Then we cannot feel peacefulness. B. Not associating with people who always worry about their security. They may worry about many other things also, right? Their security, the security of their relatives, family, many different things. So if they have a lot of worry, even very minor things, they worry a lot. When we have this kind of habits, this kind of mind, we cannot tranquilize, we cannot feel peacefulness. C. Not associating with people who have bad behavior, short temper, and bad speech. Actually, other people's behavior also can affect our practice. And something that we may see improper behavior, we may hear improper speech, then it will come to our meditation. For example, you may have experiences now. When you speak with somebody, something about their family life or some problem of their family. After listening their problem, when you meditate, all the problem will come to your mind in your meditation section. You cannot calm down. Okay, the main thing is, if somebody has bad behavior, That means when seeing their behavior, we're going to feel peaceful. Short temper. Because of short temper, also they may have bad behavior, bad speech. When they have bad speech, we have to listen to them. It will distract our minds, that we cannot focus very well. That's why Saradakaya Bukala Privachanata means the avoiding of people who have physical and bad actions, and also like a lot of quarreling, a lot of torturing, a lot of fighting, this kind of people. So this is called association. Okay, one more thing here. Among the 7 suitable conditions, association is one of the things. So previously, I've already talked about 3: foods, weather, and posture. These are also suitable conditions. Now, one more. This is it. Number 5, avoiding bad people. This is also one of these suitable conditions. Then 6, Basata Kaya Bukala Sevanata, the association with people who have bodily good actions. So in this case, very simple. It can be opposite of previous one. Associating with people who have empathy, mercy, and kindness, and so on. So we can also understand that they have good behavior, then they have good speech, then they have kindness to everybody. If we associate with that kind of people, we can stabilize our minds, because when we see them, then we can also see their kindness. Their behavior is also good. That's why it cannot disturb our meditation. So if we have this kind of association, this is also called Bukala Sapaya. Okay, here in this tranquility, we have 4 suitable conditions. The first one is foods. Second one is weather. The third one is posture. The fourth one is person, association. So if we have all these suitable conditions, then we can tranquilize our mind. Actually, when you go and study the suitable conditions, right? For example, our so cultural person, Bukalo Ata Bojano, we have told you we have 7 suitable conditions. Another one is like a compensation. Although it doesn't mention compensation in the list of the factor that leading to the arising of tranquility. So when we associate with the bad people, sure, there will be bad speech. Already mentioned. When we associate with good people, there will be good speech. Here was mentioned, bodily good actions, verbally good speech. When we have this kind of association, sure, this is also called basa, another suitable conditions. The main thing is, when we have friends, companions, associates, we must speak only necessary things. If we speak many unnecessary things, it can disturb our meditation. That's why conversation is also important in our practice. So when we talk about only difficulty in our practice, sure, it will be only very big disturbance for other meditators also. For example, you may report meditation in group, right? That means one meditator will talk about difficulties, disturbance, a lot of complaint, for example. If other meditators also, they have to listen, right? That's why when we make conversation also, it's important. So here, when we say associate, it doesn't mean only association. We have to associate with bodily, verbally, mentally. Then, if we can associate well, it will be better, right? If we cannot associate, if we don't have good associations, then it will be big disturbance for our practice. Okay, now again, the next one, Data. So the one is that the inclination towards the development of enlightenment factors of tranquility is also really very important. We have already mentioned before, for many different reasons, many different cases. Whatever we have we have to develop whatever enlightenment factors we have to develop. There's the same statement here like this, right? In the case of the Data, okay, one more thing here. In your practice, you may have experienced tranquility, maybe a few days ago, maybe previous session, maybe. Your mind can incline to that kind of experiences. You can regain tranquility. This is also one of the reasons. Although you haven't experienced any tranquility, then you can also imagine the bliss of tranquility when hearing the experience of other meditators saying. So sometimes when you listen in the interview, you may have heard, right? There are some people, they have very good tranquility. They may report, oh, mind become very peaceful, very calm, very quiet, they may report. There's no restlessness, they may report. When hearing that also, you can imagine how peaceful their mind is. Then you can also develop the enlightenment factor of tranquility. Then B, if we are really interested in the tranquility and urging to develop the tranquility when hearing how other meditators experience it, or our mind will incline to the enlightenment factor of tranquility. So the main thing is here, when we say inclination, this is also interest. If we are interested in tranquility, sure, there will be tranquility. And one more thing, if we are so greedy, so much expectation, it's gonna be. Sometimes we expect too much. Then we may make extra efforts. The more we struggle, the more we have restlessness. The more we have restlessness, we cannot tranquilize our minds. These two are opposites. So as long as we have restlessness, we cannot tranquilize. That's why we must stabilize our minds, more calmness, more quietness, more natural focusing, more natural efforts. It will be easier to have tranquility. So that means we must be interested in tranquility means we must know how to develop tranquilities. If we are not interested in tranquility, we cannot improve ourselves also. Okay, now we have a little bit long story, because in this story we can find many of suitable conditions. That's why I choose this story. The story of a certain bhikkhu. Yeah, I also write down the stanza. Donikasa lahuno, yatakama nipatino, tidasa damato sadhu, tidan dandan sukhawaham. This is from Dhammavada. While reciting at the Jidavana monastery, the Buddha uttered this stanza with a reference to a certain bhikkhu. On one occasion, 60 bhikkhus, after obtaining medicines subject from the Buddha, went to Madhika village at the foot of a mountain. There, Madhika, mother of the village headman, offered them alms foods. She also built a monastery for them so that they could stay in the village during the rainy season. One day, she asked the group of bhikkhus to teach her the practice of meditation. They taught her how to meditate on 32 constituents of the body, leading to the awareness of decay and the dissolutions of the body. Okay, here, 32 body parts. She has learned 32 body parts from the bhikkhu. Madhika Mata practiced with diligence and attained the 3 megas and phalas, that means up to Anagami, together with analytical knowledges. That means analytical knowledge means very high quality already. The maintain supernormal powers. So that means she has psychic power. Okay, one more thing here. There's some missing part in this story. She learned only 32 body parts. How can she attain psychic power? So actually, 32 body parts can attain only the first jhana. When we wish to attain psychic power, we must attain 8 attainments with 8 kasinams. So how is it possible? Even the foundation is different. Actually, among the 32 body parts, for example, head hair is black. Right? Mostly Asian people have black hair, right? So she could continue practicing black kasina based on 32 body parts, taking head hair as objects. So not only head hair, but our eyes also mostly black and white. So okay, white kasina also can be from our eyes, teeth, bone. Then blood is the red. We can also practice red kasina, taking blood as the object. Then fat is the yellow. We can also practice yellow kasina, taking fat as the object. Then, if we can practice all the things, then we can also proceed other kasina, earth kasina, water, fire, wind kasinas. So, after training mind in 14 ways, she could continue practicing for psychic powers. So, the main thing is if we don't know the sequence, then we can misunderstand. By merely practicing 32 body parts, he could attain psychic power. Right? Anyway, the main thing is she could attain anagami, maybe non-returner attainment, also analytical knowledges, also supernormal powers. They be very powerful ladies. So even the bhikkhu, before the bhikkhu did, that means even the bhikkhu attained all the things. She attained earlier. Rising from the bliss of the Megha and Phala, she looked with divine powers of the sight, the Dihya Jaku, and saw that bhikkhu had not attained any Megha yet. She also learned those bhikkhu had innate potentiality for attainment of arhatship, but they need proper foods. So she prepared good and choice foods for them. With the proper foods and right efforts, the bhikkhu can develop right concentrations, eventually attain arhatship. This is how she supports devotees, how she supports bhikkhus. Okay, here she also can see the bhikkhus' conditions. That means they have suitable weather, suitable residence, suitable friends, suitable conversation. Okay, if we summarize, they had all the suitable conditions excepting suitable foods. Understanding that, she prepared suitable food for individual bhikkhus. Yeah, 60 bhikkhus, right? Then they could practice well, they could attain arhatship. At the end of rainy season, the bhikkhus returned to Jetavana monastery, where the Buddha was in residence. They reported the Buddha that all of them were in good health and in comfortable circumstances, and they did not have worry about the foods. They also mentioned about Madhika Mata, who was aware of their thoughts and prepared and offer them a very good, they offer them the very food they wish for. A certain bhikkhu, hearing them talking about Madhika Mata, decided that he too would go to the village. So, taking the subject of meditation from the Buddha, he arrived at the village monastery. There he found that everything he wished for was sent by Madhika Mata, the laywoman devotees. So you can imagine, even she can support 60 bhikkhu, not only one bhikkhu, very easy. She could read his mind. Whatever he wished, she will send, she will arrange and send anything he needed. Then, when he wished for her to come, she personally come to the monastery, bringing along choice food with her. After taking the foods, he asked her if she knew the thoughts of others, but she evaded his questions, replying, "People who can read the thoughts of others behave in such and such a way." That means she didn't explain, right? That means she just hide her identity and her power. She just say, if somebody has attained this kind of psychic power, then they may have this kind of behavior, and they may do this kind of things, and they may thought this kind of things. Just talk about the nature of people. the nature of psychic power. She didn't talk about her own experience or her own practice. That the bhikkhu thought, should I, like an ordinary worldly, entertain any impure thoughts? Is it sure to find out? He therefore got scared of the lay devotees and decided to return to the Jetavana monastery. He told the Buddha that he could not stay in Madhika village because she was afraid that lay devotee might detect impure thoughts in him. The Buddha then asked him to observe just one thing, that is to control his mind. One more thing here, right? Many people misunderstand about this one also. We also have another story. One bhikkhu is thinking about many rules and regulations, also many knowledge about Bidhamma. Then he also worried about his own life. He wished to disrobe when he approached the Buddha, and the Buddha said, "You just need to do only one thing, just train your mind." Then people misunderstand. Okay, the main thing is the mind. If we can train mind, sure. Then we don't need to follow Vinaya. They misunderstand. But actually, the main thing is that they need only one thing. All other things are perfect. For example, they have very strong confidence, very strong efforts, very powerful effort, we can say, right? Then they also have very strong mindfulness, very strong wisdoms. They just need only one thing, train their minds. That is why the Buddha point out this one. Okay. Now the bhikkhu also told the Buddha also told the bhikkhus to return to Madhika village, monastery, and also not to think of any other things, but the object of his meditation only. The bhikkhu went back. The lay devotees offer him good foods as she has done to others before, so that he might be able to practice meditation without worry. Within a short time, he too attained happyship. This is the story. Okay, the main thing is, in this story, we also find all the suitable conditions. Actually, this is just brief story. When we go and read original story, it will be very long. Okay, I should list out 7 suitable conditions. Avasa, living place. Suitable living place means it must be good enough for living. For example, when it's very hot, then it must be cooling. When it's very cold, it must be warm. This kind of living place is also important for the meditators. Gojra, suitable resorts, that means suitable village for alms foods. Sometimes our monasteries is very close to the villages, then it will be very noisy. We cannot meditate very well. That's why it's also important to have a proper distance from the villages where we go for Pindapata. That is the basa, compensation. Then we also need proper compensation. For example, when we are meditating, when we are practicing anapanasati, just talk about anapanasati. How to overcome difficulties, how to improve anapanasati. When we have this kind of compensation, it will be helpful. If we talk about many other things, many other complaints, sometimes even some questioners, they ask, what about other tradition? If they are so curious about this, they cannot improve, sure. Right? They are not interested in their meditation. They're just interested in other tradition, right? So that means the main thing is compensation. That means when somebody asks many other unnecessary questions, I can understand they cannot improve. Right? This is unnecessary things, right? Compensation is also important for improvement. Now this is Bugala. Bugala means it can be friends. It also can be teacher, anybody. So here in this story, Madhika Mata is also good supporter. The previous case, 60 bhikkhus. Then they themselves are also good associates, good companions, good friends for each other. That's why they can meditate well. If some of them disturb, Sure, all of them will have to suffer. Practically, now you are in group sitting. If one meditator cough, all the meditator can hear. So this is just a sample. So the main thing is associates, companions, friends, teachers. This is also important in our meditation. Then bhojana, foods. In the case of Madhika Mata, she prepared good foods, choice foods, suitable food for the bhikkhus. Then it's easier for them to practice. Now there's the weather, temperature. So now in modern society, temperature is not that much problem because we have aircon, heater, and many different facilities. So if we have natural weather, it's much better, right? Nature is not neither too cold nor too hot. It's much better. For example, now in Himalaya, neither too cold nor too hot. It's good weather. Another thing is idiapata, suitable postures. So sitting, standing, walking, lying down. Then which posture is the most suitable for us? We must know. Of course, sitting is the best. When we are sitting, we don't need to make very strong efforts. We can also concentrate better. When we are standing, we have to make more effort, less concentration. When we walk also, we have to make more efforts, less concentration. When lying down, too relaxed, we can fall asleep, right? Then this is not recommendable posture. Anyway, so that means when we have all the suitable conditions, then this also the supporting cause of tranquility, supporting cause of attainment. So although it doesn't list out all the suitable conditions in this improvement, development of tranquility, we can also understand all these 7 suitable conditions are necessary for enlightenment factors of tranquility. Okay, now with referring to the bhikkhus, the Buddha spoke in verse as follow. Donikahasa lahu no, jata kama nipati no, chedasa damato sadhu, chidan dandan sukha wahan. The mind is difficult to control. Let me do nikahasa. Actually, nikaha also we can say suppress. So that means it's very difficult to subside or difficult to calm down. Lahu no, simply and lightly. That means mind can go very quickly. Yata kama nipati no, it moves and learns whatever it pleases. That means the mind will go whatever it pleases. It depends on our habit also. If we have a habit of thinking about food, it will go to the food. If we are thinking about the weather, it will go to the weather. If we have a habit of thinking about friends, our mind will go to the friends. If we have a habit of thinking about family, it will go to the family. So the mind will go whatever it pleases. That's what we call yata kama nipati no. It's good to tame the mind. Chedasa damato sadhu. So that means if we can tame our mind, this is the good things. So taming, we have many different meditation subjects to tame or to train our mind. In this story, it doesn't mention what kind of subjects they are practicing. For example, in the case of psychic power, we can know they practice all the casinos, all the attainments. For the second bhikkhu, right? Now, although I write them in the story, it doesn't mention, right? It just mentions arhatship. It doesn't mention any other attainments. But when you go and read in the original story, it will be a little bit more in detail. Anyway, the main thing is taming the mind. Then jidan dandan sukha wahan. For well-trained mind brings happiness. So if we can tame our mind, it also brings happiness. Okay, one more thing. Whenever we talk about recollections, we have already mentioned something about different steps to achieve concentration. You may remember Silanocity, Venerable Mahadisa. He just recalled his morality it produces delight, pamaja. The pamaja becomes stronger, it produces piti, rapture, or joy. When piti becomes stronger, it produces tranquility, passaddhi. When tranquility becomes stronger, it produces bliss, or happiness. And then when there's a strong happiness, it produces concentration. So just basic process of concentration. But here, for well-trained mind, brain happiness, it will be higher than that. Higher than that means when we have well-trained minds, in the very beginning, when we can concentrate well, we can say viveka sukha, seclusions. Happiness produced by seclusions or solitudes. This is also one of the highest high-ranking bliss, high-ranking happiness. Those who don't tame their minds cannot imagine to experience that kind of happiness. Now, when we can practice vipassana, also we can feel happiness, bliss. Then, when we can attain path and fruition knowledge, our mind will be free from defilements. This is also freedom, emancipation. It's also happiness. So this one is a training minds. By training minds, we can enjoy very high-ranking happiness. That's why it's called Titan Dandan Sukha Vahan. Actually, that also can be say polite or calm or tamed. So this is it, the story, right? At the end of this course, many of those assembles attain Sarabhati fruition mentioned in this Dhammapada story. Okay, briefly, when we have all the supporting causes, we can tranquilize our minds. Then our tranquility, when we have tranquility, then we can also improve our meditation. Yesterday, we have already introduced some part of practice, especially developing different enlightenment fetters according to the conditions. When we have very active minds, some of our mind very eager, very active, then we must practice the enlightenment fetter. We must develop the enlightenment fetter of tranquility, concentration, and equanimities. Okay, now again. Here mention Samarubeka Bojanga Satiti Sabadasina Munina Samadekada Bhavida Bhulikata. The fetter of concentrations and equanimities, these 7 were expounded by all seeing sake, are cultivated and practiced repeatedly. Okay, here we should say the Pali words Bhavida Bhulikata. Bhavitami, we must develop. Bodhikatami, we must do repeatedly, many times. For example, although you have already tried one of these one time, one of the 7 one time, if you're not successful, okay, do second time, the third time. If you do many times, you can be successful. In the case of development, we need many times. Practically, when you focus on the breathing, maybe after a few seconds, one time, focus on the breath. After a few minutes, focus one time on the breath. In this way, you're going to improve. So within 1 minute, you must focus many times, as much as you can. Then gradually, when it becomes habit, you can improve. That's what we call Bahulikata. Practicing repeatedly is also important. Sorry. So when we have all these things, all the conditions, then if we have well developed all the enlightenment fetters, then there will be some knowledge. We can also experience higher knowledge. Then, because of balance and controlling faculties, and we have development of enlightenment fetters, we can also overcome Mara's armies. In the very beginning of our talk, we have already mentioned we can defeat Mara's armies. Not only that, we also have many other benefits, right? If we have well developed, we can also attain Nibbana. Even yesterday, we have already talked about the quality of Nibbana. We can experience all the things if we have developed enlightenment factors. So, okay, tomorrow we have to continue concentration. It will be a very long topic, right? But today, maybe we should stop here. Okay, the main thing is there are 7 ways to develop the enlightenment factor of tranquility. So many of them are about association. Many of them are about suitable conditions. Food, weather, suitable posture, associate. Associate divided into 2. Not to associate and then do associate. That's why it become, right? We can say 5. Then another thing is like inclination, right? We can also incline to develop. Another thing is like a Majjhipaka. That means we have middle way, Kammasaka. Think about Kamma ownership. So if we have too much attachment to living things or non-living things, we don't have Kamma ownership. We don't have the knowledge of Kamma ownership. It will be easier for us not to attach to any living beings, that we can calm down our minds. Okay, so these are the way to develop the enlightenment factor of tranquilities. So tranquility is also really very important in our practice. When we have very strong tranquility, no more restlessness, very peaceful. Also, although we sit very long time, not that much tired, this is also possible. So if we can develop enlightenment factor of tranquility, we can also overcome a lot of pain and discomfort in our body. As Venerable Mahadisa overcome the pain by the power of tranquility and rapture. Similarly, we can also overcome the pain and many discomfort in the body by the power of tranquility. So in the Pali canons, we can also find, in the Pali tradition, we can also find whether now we can betawa, that means overcoming the pain. Whenever the Buddha talk about overcoming pain, you must remember piti and passaddhi. Piti means rapture or joy, passaddhi means tranquility. When we have this very strong piti and passaddhi, we can overcome any kind of pain, any kind of discomfort in our body. So that's why these are for the comfort of our practice, that we should have this kind of quality. Okay, so although some of them are not very useful for, not very easy for beginners, but if you practice, it will be easier to improve. May you all be able to practice as taught by the Buddha, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sayadaw, for your valuable teaching. Sayadaw, shall we proceed to the Q&A now?
Okay.
Dear Dhamma brothers and sisters, if you have any question, please raise your hand.
So the heart will go to wherever it likes. Is there a way to train the heart to like the breathing?
Okay. So actually, meditation is a training of the mind, right? So that means, okay, even in the Vajjanga, we have already mentioned Kammasakata. When we have equanimity to our living things, we may not have this kind of difficulty, right? We can train our mind easily, right? So the main thing is, if we don't have very strong attachment to many different things, more equanimity, then we can overcome this problem. We can train our mind better. Every single practice, actually, we need equanimity. Even in jhana practice, right? For example, you may have very strong tranquility. Then you like tranquility, your mind will go to tranquility more and more. Then finally, you may not pay attention to meditation subject. This is also one of the problem, right? That's why anyway, so whatever desirable things, there's a weakness. If we use too much, then it will be easier for meditators to have more equanimity towards good experiences, right? So, okay, briefly, when you have equanimities, you can overcome it. Next one.
Any more
Okay,
questions? Okay, Sarah, shall we take the question from the chat group first?
okay.
The first question is a Chinese question.
顶礼尊者，我在禅修中能感觉到自己的呼吸，有寻心所，但觉知呼吸过程中保持觉知的时间不长，我的视心所弱。我想训练自己的视心所，使其慢慢强一些。请问尊者怎么操作？感恩尊者，萨度萨度萨度。
This is a little bit strange to me also, right? You cannot train vichara. Okay? That means whenever vitaka arises, vichara will arise. Naturally, you cannot separate these two. If you just need to apply your mind to the object consistently, continuously, it will be okay. So this kind of approach, that kind of understanding is a little bit risky for me also, right? So the main thing is, you cannot purely train vichara. When you have vitaka, there will be vichara naturally, okay? More application. You must apply your mind to the object consistently, habitually. It will be easier for you to improve. Next one.
Thank you, Seattle. Question 2, Wandami Seattle. Seattle explained about not accepting cause. During meditation, what are some of the incidents that yogis, knowingly or unknowingly, not accepting cause, which will affect their practical practice? Could Sarah please give some example? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. For example, restlessness. Okay, restlessness. So when you have very strong efforts, you may have more restlessness. Then, okay, when we say, no, don't be in a hurry, just calm down, just normally focus on the breathing, just medium efforts. As long as you can breathe in, don't struggle too much, don't put any extra efforts. Although we advise like this, they are not ready to accept, for example, right? So actually, excessive effort is the cause of restlessness. So when we are in a hurry, we may put extra efforts. It becomes excessive. It can be the cause of restlessness. So if we cannot accept these kind of things, we are still in a hurry, forcing too much, sure, we cannot improve. Right? This is practical, right? And other things. Sometimes, like when we have too much rapture, too much joy, too much tranquility, then our mind also inclined to it frequently. We like it. If we follow what our mind go to tranquility, rapture, joy too much, our effort become weaker and weaker. And finally, we may fall asleep or we may fall into Vanga state, a kind of unconscious state. But sometimes when we say, when you feel peacefulness, don't follow, just keep knowing breathing. Of course, this is luxurious, right? Very good experiences. They don't want to accept. Then they will remain in that state very long time. As long as they are not inclined to tranquility, rapture, joy too much, then they are not focused on the breathing that well, they will remain there very long time. They cannot improve. They can feel peace, but that's just peacefulness, not for improvement, right? So that means if we wish to expect better one, we must give a smaller one also, right? Minor happiness, we must give a minor happiness also. Okay, there are many other cases like that, right? And I just give only two, right? One is excessive effort. It will cause restlessness. Another one is following to too much pleasant feeling, tranquility, rapture, and joy. Then it will cause a weaker effort, and then you may fall into Vanga state, right? It can be side effect. Okay, now next one.
Thank you, Seattle. Question 3, Wandami Seattle. As a teacher, Seattle have many students and they will come to Seattle for many of their problems, whether it's meditation or their life, etc. How Sayadaw maintain Kamasaka towards them so as not to affect Sayadaw's life? Could Sayadaw please share with us? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so there are some, okay, we get some problem, right? Some problem means it will be because we live in a big community, big community. If there's a big community, it will be big problem. It's normal. We cannot avoid problem. It can be personal, it can be the personal based or community based problem. Whatever problem we have, okay, I have to find the solutions. Yeah? So sometimes I'm gonna find solution. There will be somebody who can help me. I just find who can help me. Then this is finished. I can solve the problem. With the help of other people, like my senior or some Naika Sayadaw or some the in charge in the monastery, anybody, right? Okay, one more thing. I've already said not all the people need our help. For example, like that somebody did not have problem with their meditations, then I have already give instructions to change something. They are still doing the one, okay, and just ignore. Not because of hatred. I have to wait until the time ripen. Right? So sometimes they themselves say, I cannot improve. Now what is happening? Then at the time I will openly talk to them. Of course, you don't listen to me. Very clear, right? Then okay, then it's something we have to wait until the time ripen. So within that time, just more equanimity. Okay, let them say whatever thing they like. Then listen. Sometimes they may get Dhamma talk to me, right? Long reports. It's not really reporting like they are giving Dhamma talk to me. I have to listen to their Dhamma talk also, right? So anyway, sometimes they want to prove that they are good, they are right. Okay, listen, let them feel right. Okay, it doesn't matter. So in this case, we can say equanimity, right? Well, if we don't have equanimity, I have to suffer for it. This is the one thing. Okay, another thing is that their personal problem. Sometimes because of big community, they may have some conflict between two or three persons, right? Then I have to bring them to the meeting. Then we may have some investigations, and then we have to solve some problem. Something that if I'm gonna decide what to do, then I will ask many other Naika Sayadaw and many other people to come to the meeting, the voting system. And like democracy, voting, what to do. Then that means I can feel free. Okay, one more thing. Not all the problem come from me, right? I mean, I don't need to solve all the problem. It's just come from them. So the main thing is, as long as I don't think this is my problem, is okay. This is their problem. Another thing is, okay, I also believe, as I have said, right? I cannot help everybody. I can help only those who needs my help. Then if we have this kind of mindset, Kama Sakata, easier, then it cannot affect my life, right? Next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, question for Wandami Sayadaw. My grandma is bedridden. Is it still possible for her to practice Anapana and still reap the same results as sitting meditation? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Sure, if she has this kind of sickness or this kind of conditions, it's possible to know Anapanasati. But for about concentration quality, I'm not sure. But one more thing, because of maybe long time habits of lying down on the back, it's possible, right? If she train very hard. Another thing, if too much calm, maybe she may fall asleep. This is also one thing. Maybe I'm not sure, right? As long as she's trying well, it's possible to achieve like a lie or tranquility or rapture or anything. For about jhana, anything, I'm not sure because she's very weak already, right? Next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. The next question is a Vietnamese question.
Okay, I have to give the same answer, right? It does not come from how long. It just comes from how skillful. Okay? So sometimes you are skillful, then within a short time you can enter into jhana. Although you have seen the nimitta very long time, if you are not very skillful, you will remain in the same stage. Right? So it depends on skill, right? Not come from durations. This one. Okay. So one more thing, in the fourth jhana, as a concentration, then no piti is possible, right? For other kasinas, other jhana is impossible. Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. Next question. Wandami Siado, what type of meditation training leads to the psychic power of mind reading? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, it will be a very long topic. Though we have to take 8 attainments in every 8 kasinas. This is also the first steps. After that, we have to train 14 ways. 14 ways means we must enter jhana orderly, reverse order. We must follow order of kasinas, reverse order of kasina, and many different ways. Right? We can say altogether 14 ways. After training 14 ways, 14 ways, then if we have enough barami, we can also proceed practicing for mind region. Okay, so there are many different ways. For example, trying to see their heart base, and so then they can also see the object of the mind and something like that. It depends on their quality of concentration. There will be many different methods. Okay. We cannot say Tihetuka. Right? When someone body can attain jhana, we can say Tihetuka. Right? Because as a concentration is only Kamavachara Chitta, not Mahakata Chitta. Okay, how does it look like? It's very difficult to explain, right? It depends on your perceptions. It can be different colors, different shapes, different locations. It can be anywhere around your body. It also can be very far from your body also. It depends on perception, right? We cannot say exactly. But when we have very clear minds and pure minds, then the mind project materialities, the color of mind project materialities become pure and bright. Gradually, it becomes brighter, right? So the generation by generation, it becomes brighter, and it produces the lights. Anyway, the main thing is, although you see the light, right? Don't think about light too much also. Another thing, in your case, don't expect the light too much also, right? If you expect too much, it cannot rise, it cannot appear also, okay? So make it natural. It will appear naturally. Next one.
Thank you, Siado. Next question. Wandami Siado, during meditation, I have many different kinds of wandering thoughts. Some come and go very fast. Some are long stories. Some are happening together with the breath, but very subtle, like behind thoughts. Are there different ways to overcome different types of wandering thoughts? Can Sarah please guide us? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, very fast thoughts is okay, not really big problem. You can come into the breathing, not that serious. But long stories, you have to cut long stories by doing other things. This is also possible. For example, long story and also background thoughts, right? Okay, behind thoughts. So together with the breathing, when you have this kind of habit, it's not really very good. So to overcome long stories and background thoughts, You can change the object temporarily. For example, you may do some chanting mentally until you can overcome the thoughts. After that, come back to the breathing. Or maybe you may change other subject like Buddhanosati or Jaganosati or Metta or anything. When you can overcome the thoughts, come back to the breathing. This is also okay. So for about long story and background thoughts, sure, you have to make special effort to overcome it. This one.
Yes, Sayadaw. Wandami Sayadaw, I have been practicing meditation for many years. After listening to Sayadaw's talk on the Bojjhanga Sutta, I reflect on the vast talk content and check myself. I feel very empty, as if I don't know anything, even I know how to meditate. That means there are so many factors in this talk which I have never checked against myself. I feel that I'm very shallow, even I know how to meditate. Should I go through the talk contents part by part, check myself, reflect deeply on them if I have fulfilled those factors, matching theory versus practical? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. That means if you know how to meditate, okay, for a beginner, just you can do as a just through meditating is okay. For other things, right, when necessary, you can do it. For I already said, for example, sometimes when you are too much lazy, not very active, at the time you can choose one of the enlightenment factors, Dhammavichaya, or Virya Sambhojjhanga, or Piti Sambhojjhanga. Right? Then, if you can develop one of these three, your mind can be active, you can practice better. See, all these things are just for help. Okay, if you can, that means when necessary, you must develop. So when your mind is going smoothly, you don't need to do it. See, later we have to explain, in the case of concentration, we have to explain a few more stuff about it. Okay, so sure, for about the knowledge, it will be different. So we must know how to use our knowledge. This is more important, right? Next one.
Venerable Sayadaw, in the first jhana, piti and sukha are born of seclusion. Vivekajam piti sukha. How does this happen? Thank you, Sayadaw.
Okay, here, mind, okay, we can say mental seclusion. Mind is free from the defilements here, we can say hindrances, right? Actually, if you read from the very beginning, it's very clear already. Huijiva kamavicha aguslehi dhamehi, right? We have this kind of statement in the very beginning. So his mind is free from sensual pleasure, kamehi. Huijiva aguslehi, his mind is free from agusala, unwholesome minds, unwholesome mental states. Also, as mentioned here, vivekajam piti sukham, right? Because of that, mind is seclusion, separated from all the unwholesome deeds, unwholesome mental states. That's how we call vivekaja. It produces piti sukha, right? Because that means there are many types of piti sukha. For example, enjoying sensual pleasure, we have piti sukha. But this jhana is a difference. Not enjoying sensual pleasure. This is free from sensual pleasure, but it produces piti sukha. Okay, we can understand like that. Next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Wandami Sayadaw, in the interview, we can hear many yogis talking a lot about light instead of focusing on how they focus on the breath and how long. How about chasing after light and nimitta? Is this also wrong course? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Of course, if we think about the light too much, or if we follow the light too much, it will be the wrong way. I mean, we cannot improve more than that. So although we have the light, then we must keep knowing the breathing simultaneously. Sometimes there can be background light, we can also know breathing, right, simultaneously. So the main thing is to know the breathing until you have very strong nimitta. Okay, next one.
Wandami Sayadaw, to practice psychic power, how many rounds of 14 ways a meditator must practice? How strong must how strong must be their 14 ways in order for them to specialize in some psychic power? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, how many rounds is a little bit difficult to say, right? We can say how strong it will be more important. Sometimes, although we practice many rounds, if our concentration is not so strong, it's not that much effective, right? Okay, it doesn't mean it does not come from how many rounds. It must come from how strong, right? Okay, how strong we cannot know how strong because we don't have any limitation about it. The main thing is your concentration must be strong enough to see divine beings or maybe to read people's minds. It depends on what kind of psychic power you wish to achieve, right? So there may be some requirements for this kind of things. For example, in the case of the flying or floating on the sky and something, then there are many other requirements mentioned in Visuddhimagga, right? So some of them are not that easy to understand. Okay, this one?
Thank you, Sayadaw. Vanami Sayadaw, this is my experience. Yesterday, after listening Sayadaw lesson, after I knew I not forced, because avoid bad people, happiness arise in my mind, very strong. I feel loma, hair of body stand up, body and mind energy. What must to do after this? Must be to practice this every day? Isn't Sila Nusati? In daily, sometimes I do recollect Buddha Nusati. Must be to choose one recall. Sayadaw, thank you very much.
Okay, for about the avoiding bad people, this is just for association, just supporting causes of concentration, right? So it's only supporting cause. That's why for better concentrations, we must meditate. We must choose. And if you are practicing anapanasati, okay, do anapanasati until you can attain jhana, right? Similarly, if you are practicing Buddha Nusati, okay, keep practicing Buddha Nusati until you can attain asset concentration. So, okay, the main thing is avoiding is association. Meditation is it just for practice and train the mind, two different things, right? Okay, this one.
The next question is a Chinese question.
礼敬下多，怎么善巧审查自己到达进行地？大家都说不说的。
Actually, there's the proof of asset concentrations. That means you cannot balance controlling faculties. You may fall into Gona states. This is one of the mark, right? So it's not so strong as a jhana. So when you can overcome, when you can balance controlling faculties, then we can say you attain jhana, absorption state. So after that, you can have review your knowledge. You can review jhana factors. Okay, this one.
Sayadaw, can I use Myanmar word conversation in this group? Sayadaw, this is a Myanmar question.
Okay, I know. Vajjapasya Tenkara. Okay, that means Vajjapasya Sankara. I want to know about meaning of Sankara. Is performed below, two, or yonena or gan. Okay, that means namarupas or gamma, or any other extra meanings of Visuddhimagga. Okay. Actually, when we talk about Sankara, we have a different approach. For example, Punyavi Sankara, this means Kusala. Apunyavi Sankara, this is also Akusala. The Ananjavi Sankara, this is only immaterial jhana. So these are called Sankara, right? So we also have another angles, Kaya Sankara. Kaya Sankara means body formations, Vaji Sankara, bhava formations, and also Chitta Sankara, consciousness formations. There are different approaches. But anyway, whenever we talk about Sankara, it means we can say the nama. Be careful, right? Not namarupa. It must be only nama. Because Sankaras are Kusala Sankara, Punyavi Kusala or Akusala. That means wholesome and unwholesome. These are only mentalities. Okay, one more thing. When we talk about Vaji Sankara, what is it? Kaya Sankara, Vaji Sankara, Chitta Sankara, right? So Vajra Sankhara is a Vitaka Vichara. This is a Nama. How Kaya Sankhara? Mention Asasa Pasasa Kaya Sankhara. That means breathing and breathing out. At the time we can say Kaya Sankhara is Rupa, materialities. So it depends on the angle we follow, right? If we do Punyabi Sankhara, Abunyabi Sankhara, Ananyabi Sankhara, it will be only mentalities. If we talk about Kaya Sankhara, Vajra Sankhara, Chitta Sankhara, it can be Namarupas. Okay?
Okay. Sarah,
Okay.
we don't have any question in the chat group now. Someone raised hand. Okay. Any question from the participant? Any question from the floor? Okay. How do I read your name? Okay, can you raise hand again? Okay. Can you turn on your video, Mister? Sarah, there's one question in the chat group. Okay. Samadhi and Sati, which come first, Sarah?
Samadhi and Sati.
Samadhi and Sati, yes.
Okay. Actually, these two can arise together, right? If there's a Sati, there will be Samadhi, right? They will arise together. That's why we're gonna see which one comes first. Okay, this one.
Okay. Okay, there's one Vietnamese question, Bande. Just
We cannot say like that, right? For example, sometimes just for easier understandings, they use Tipitaka or Nikaya or something, right? So if we say Buddha teaching, sure, it will cover everything also. In the case of Pariyati, it means learning Tipitaka, right? Patipati, the practice according to Tipitaka. Okay, so in this case, we cannot say mistakes. Okay, next one.
Sarah, we don't have any more question in the chat group.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Any more question from the participant? Anyone have any question? Okay. Sarah, I think we don't have any more question today. Shall we proceed to close the session?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for your teaching today, Sarah, and thank you our interpreter Bandis for the translation. May we invite Sarah to lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits. Sadhu, sadhu,
Okay.
sadhu.
Etavataja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe devanumodandu sabbe bhudanumodandu sabbe sattanumodandu sabba sampati siriya idame nyadinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadeo idame nyadinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadeo idame nyadinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadeo idame bunyam asawakaya waham hotu idame bunyam nippanasa pachayo hotu mama bunya bhagam sabba satanam bhajemi te sabbe me samam punya bhagam lavandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Seattle, and everyone for your time and participation. Till we meet the next session tomorrow, may all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.